Well, my name's Steve Matthews, and I'm the owner of Third Stone and the Wilund Surf Shop. The Third Stone was started about over 30 years ago by my brother, Pete Matthews, and on the North Shore, in front of Jocko's at Ace Cool's house. And over the years, we had glassing factories from one abandoned house to another, the Swamp, Rockies, V-Land, and then I came out in about 2001 or 2000. And at that point, we started looking for a legitimate place to do it all. And the only available place was the Wilund Sugar Mill. So we worked on trying to get the Wilund Sugar Mill, and eventually this was the last building available. It was like much bigger than what we wanted or anticipated, but we did it and we've been working on it ever since, basically. Turned it into a surf shop, surfboard factory, and everything we need. I came out here to visit my brother for spring break and never left. And he was already doing it. He was building boards and glassing boards, and then I was kind of more into the silkscreen and making t-shirts and stuff like that. And then we got into making surf movies, and then he started traveling, and when he was traveling, we needed to pay the bills, so he taught me how to glass the boards. Basically the same thing, yeah, he's got the surf shop, he runs Lost, he runs Futures, he's got the hotel, the nightclub, restaurant. He's kind of got the whole operation even bigger and better in Bali. So if you go down there, White Monkey, you get the White Monkey surf shop, and it's got everything you need right there at Uluwatu's. It's pretty sick.
I'm Brittany Wilund, and I am kind of manager of operations. I think that's what it's like a vague enough term that way whenever a job falls in my lap, it's in the right category, because it's part of the whole deal. Yeah. But I've kind of just done a little bit of everything, and as the business grows, I just move into different roles as we see this is the part of the thing that's growing. Let's put more energy and focus here, and then, you know. I would say one of the biggest things that sets our shop apart from other places and why it's just fun to be in here is, I was saying earlier, it's art and surfing combined, and it's all, there's a lot of handmade touches. Like everywhere you look, there's flowers painted on the floor. I think you said it yourself, literally everything is art. Nothing, you leave it out long enough, it's gonna get painted on, and it's really fun. That being said, a lot of the shirts, they're coming from designs that have just been drawn over the years or are in response to something, or like even this one is a great example. This is a painting that was hanging on the wall for years in the glassing factory, and you can see it actually framed, and this was one of my favorites. It's like, we've got to turn that into a shirt, and so it might be marinating for years, and then we decide to make it into a shirt. And then the shirts are all printed, screen printed in the sugar mill. It's a pretty fun, like people always come and like, oh, you guys have the best shirts, and we're glad to have that response because a lot actually goes into coming up with what we're gonna make. You've got the biggest future selection on island, you've got all the surfboards, but then you also have the factory that's in the back. So we're producing it as well, and glassing, and we're working constantly with all the shapers and lots of different glassers from all over. There's kind of a cool rotating group of people, some international that'll travel here and just stay for a stint to join in on the fun. And having that dynamic, like Third Stone's always been this gathering place, and it means that people aren't just coming in the front door to buy a product. They might be coming in to see Owl, their favorite shaper, or to pick up the board for some pro competition. They're gonna, you know, fly out and get it last minute. There's all these different reasons that people are walking in and out. You've got Gavin Hasselgawa, there he is, airbrusher for every board. Any board that you've seen an amazing design on over the years. I think he's touched more surfboards across the island than almost everybody. He's sprayed for everyone. So there's all sorts of reasons that people walk in the door here. And so yeah, and that way there's not really a typical day. And it feels different. You get that feeling when you come in here. So one of the more iconic shirts we have in here is the Owl Chapman underground logo tee. We've been printing, I don't even actually know, we've been printing this shirt longer than I've been here, but Owl's had so many variations of this logo color, like all the different color schemes throughout the years. But this is definitely one of the more popular shirts we have. Yeah. And Yeah, I asked him about it. I think it was probably a couple months ago now, this past winter. I was kind of asking him a little bit about the background of it, and I'm trying to remember what Rivera, I want to say, is the artist that designed it for him back in the day, and kind of talking about why he chose this planetary scene. And he said he wanted, he wanted, you know, basically himself. He's got a photo of it on his wall in his shaping room, and it's pretty epic, surfing out of this world. And he's making out of this world boards, and they're definitely magic. I can attest to that.
What I like most about this surf shop is kind of like the whole like vibe of this shop. It's a lot more like different than any other surf shop on the island. My brother worked here for about like a couple years, and then he kind of got a little older and stuff. So I kind of like came in, started working here, and what I look for most in helping with customers, like let's say a surfboard or like fins, like I kind of ask them for an example or kind of board they're riding, and I'll kind of just like give an example of what kind of fins they should be riding on their board. Or like I'll ask for like, for boards, I'll ask for like their weight and height and stuff if they don't know what kind of board they want, and like I'll ask for like what kind of waves they're riding. So basically we've got a lot of different types of boards, but I would say the ones that make up the most, we've got DHDs, we have Lost, we have a lot of Lost boards, we have Third Stone's brand, and then we kind of have a lot of trade-ins, and there's some other mixed ones in there as well. But we have our Third Stone in-house shapes are here, and yeah, those have been selling pretty well lately. Yeah, really beautiful. We've got some that are hand painted by Toonz. We'll kind of do series that go along with the shirts. We've collaborated with this artist, Ida, with some of her prints, and we have some shirts by her as well. And we got fabric inlays that went on some of these boards. So we'll do a collaborative sort of, the art part of Third Stone ties in with the retail and the boards as well. DHD we've had for a long time, and these boards they're just magic. They're super great, and we can order customs and make those here. We've got that. I'll show you in the factory in the back. We can get them cut, and then yeah, we've got a lot of Lost. People love Lost. I love Lost. It's an amazing brand. Never heard a bad thing about their boards ever. And then trade-ins. We've got trade-ins from both DHD and Lost. The team riders will come at the end of the season or whenever they're getting their new batch of boards and just drop off a whole stack of them. And Burger's our the Lost rep, and he's amazing. And he's always like, Britt, you better put them in the system because I'm gonna put it out on the internet that these are here. And I'm like, just give me 10 minutes because people will come busting down to get their favorite team riders boards. And it's a cool program because if you know that you like a certain model or a certain type of board and you've got similar dimensions as one of the team riders, then you might fall and be like, oh, okay, they're dropping off a whole batch of boards at Wailua Surf Shop. Got the master airbrusher, Gavin.
Hello.
And then we've got Charlie. I'm back, yeah, I'm giving a tour right now. So we got Charlie Sanderson sanding.
How you doing, man? I met you the other day.
Yeah. Charlie is the actual, I think earlier you called me the glue of the operation, but it's not me, it's Charlie.
It's Charlie.
Yeah, he's the reason this place runs. Thank you, Charlie. Yeah, well, never sanded a board. And then that's where we've got Cody's printing shack in the back. So he'll be printing a lot of the shirts. And there, he's always busy. And we even just got a new little, I think like a hat press, heat transfer. There's so many rooms here, but for like printing on hats. So we're gonna start trying that out soon.
But yeah, when we got it, it was just one big warehouse. So you would walk through this, and this was just all open, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And over the years, we first built the glassing room and a shaping room, and then it just kind of grew from there and expanded, and airbrushing rooms and sanding rooms and silk screening. I mean, we knew when we got the place that it was bigger than what we needed, but we had big dreams, and we had all these little, you know, things that we were doing, like making movies and making t-shirts and making surfboards, and we knew if we did it right, we could eventually have a space for all of it in one place. So that's kind of why we called it the gathering place, because it was artists and surfboard builders and, you know, shapers and glassers and all these different kinds of people. They could come together, and then you know, we could kind of do everyone's creative ideas in one place. We've always been, the most successful we've ever been is when we work with people. So that's kind of how we've treated our mantra for the whole thing, like the gathering place. And so if it's when we're working with Future Fins or Lost or DH or Bushman or Matt Yerxa or Dennis Pang and all these different guys, Chapman, you know, has got a shaping room here. So it's a pretty cool environment to have all of these people at one point or another, whether it's, you know, Darren Hanley from Australia visiting or Ethan Ewing coming in, and then you got, you know, Matt Biolis and Mason Ho and Al Chapman or Sam Hawk and all these amazing characters that, I mean, I feel honored actually to be able to provide a place and to witness these things that go down. It's pretty radical actually. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
My name is Sophia Noel, and I run the social media for the Wailoa Surf Shop, and I do graphic design for Third Stone too. It's really fun because there's already so many creative people here. There's already so much happening. So I'm basically the professional fly on the wall, and I get to document all the shapers, all the glassers, and right now we're in the middle of kind of rebranding Third Stone and building up the website and telling the stories of everyone that's here. It really feels like a family of a bunch of different characters who all have so many different talents. So one of the things I think is really cool about the art that we make here and the shirts that Third Stone produces, which are actually made here in the sugar mill, is Toonz, our resident artist. He's really creative, and he'll get an idea like right on the spot. I can actually show you how one of them came to be. So sometimes someone will walk in and say something funny, or like sometimes Toonz will just get an idea and then it pops into his head, and like 20 seconds later he'll take a paintbrush and create a piece of artwork. So, oh, I think it moved. That's the other thing, is that stuff is always moving around. It's like a living piece of art being here. But some of the artwork that he makes, like for example, we have one here. It says "Take a vacation from social media." This is actually a painting that he made with a message all around delete Instagram. So we're releasing shirts and hats that he actually took this and then put it on them. And then we made a whole line of shirts based off of it. So it's real artwork, like it pops up all the time. That's what's so authentic about it, is that it literally just comes straight from his head and then comes out onto the artwork that we wear. So that's why I think Third Stone is such a cool brand, is based on authenticity with as far as artists goes, but also as far as shapers goes, like what Steve said. Like the business is based on like having raw, real craftsmanship. So right now we're gonna head over to our new spot. Third Stone just bought more space back in the other side of the mill. So we're gonna be doing more projects over there, but it's just across the way, so we're gonna hop in my car and then go see what they're doing. They're unloading all the lumber right now. I think this is the lumber guy right here. Wow. Wait, I hope there's more lumber than that. That's probably not. Sorry, I have so much stuff in my car. I actually paint surfboards for Wilund, so this is one of my surfboards. So yeah, we're all artists here in the sugar mill, one way or another. Yeah, me and Britt is the manager of Third Stone. She's an amazing surfer and artist. She makes all the mugs here in the Wailoa Surf Shop. And she also does the mugs for Mele Mele. And we both have a shared art studio in the back of the sugar mill. So it's just like a Mary Poppins bag. There's just more and more every day. You're just like, I didn't know there was a bakery back here. Oh, there's another bakery. What's up? What's up, Ian? Ian is the one that prints all of our shirts at Third Stone. Oh, there it is. So right now we're putting lumber and building out a new part of the mill that we just bought. So we have more space to do manufacturing out of this space, whether it's Futures Fins or different companies. We're going to be able to sell lots more wholesale. So Third Stone's clothing and brand as a surf brand will be able to spread more because we'll have more space as a warehouse for the products. we're trying to find a way to like carry on the legacy of the mill being so old and full of so much history that we still want to respect and like keep telling that story. But then at the same time, there's like so much new like craft happening and new artists. So like trying to find a way to advertise both of those while carrying on like that history. Yeah. And I think Britt, who manages Third Stone, does a really good job of doing that, is like telling the story of the mill and the story of it being like an old factory. And then like, how do we add to that and like keep that legacy going rather than just being like, you know, gentrifying it and having it be like kind of paved over. Like we want to carry that as a new generation rather than like paving over the old generation. You know what I mean?
Hey guys, Ramon here. Thank you all for tuning in to today's video. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell to stay up to date with what's happening here on Oahu. If you would like to watch more videos, check out our playlist. And last but not least, consider becoming a member of the Oahu Surf Films Ohana.